and welcome to another episode of Find Your Alpha. Today, I've got with me a photographer, a businessman. He started his journey first as a businessman and then decided, maybe I like this photography job small, and, and ventured into that.
Yeah.
He shared some really interesting ideas about what he believes is, the bedrock of a, photography business, for instance. And I think it's an important conversation to have, beyond the clicks, beyond the shutter, beyond the lens. What is the business? Is it a business for you? And how can you not just make it profitable, but make it scalable and sustainable? So without further ado, Mark Anthony, all the way from Imo State, Owerri. Here you are. Welcome to Find Your Alpha podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. It's
awesome.
A pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
So I like putting my people on the spot a little bit, right?
Okay.
And so I'm going to ask you the first question, which is, are you an alpha?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What makes you alpha?
Okay. It depends. Let me put it like this, okay? I think it's relative though, the alpha. It depends on your understanding of alpha. Okay? And I think I'm alpha because I believe in myself. Okay? I'm not comparing myself with anyone. I believe in my uniqueness. I believe there's no one like me, man.
Yes.
This is just the only version of this guy, McAnthony, that you can get in the whole world. Yeah, I think that makes me an alpha.
Come on.
Come on.
Let's go into the business of photography. I know that this is a subject that
I love
is
so much.
so dear to you.
Yes, it is.
Because of your journey into the creative business, right? Just give us a little bit of your perspective of photography as a business.
Okay. Photography as a business. I don't know. Let me just start by telling my story a bit. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, my story started like this. I love pictures. I love photography. Okay. But I didn't come into the photography space as a photographer.
Right.
All right. I came in as a PR guy for a company. So when I landed there, I met my boss, we started talking. So I'm the guy that my boss talks with all the time. So how do we put this out there? How do we get people to see what we're doing? And I'm like, okay. So those were the kind of meetings I was having with my boss. But I noticed something. Working with him, there are two kinds of people there. I saw the photographers who were very passionate about what they were doing. They understood the whole creative process. They knew about the composition, the aperture, shutter speed, everything. They understood the subjects, every single thing. They were really excited about this thing. But they were not the ones calling the shot. Let me just be blunt. They were not making the money. Okay. My boss was the guy who was making the money. Okay, so these guys on one side. Then the other side is my boss, who knows Jack. He doesn't know anything, about photography. Yeah, so I stay with him. He doesn't even know what a good picture is, but he had a different skill set. He knew how to lock down deals. He knew how to relate to clients. He knew how to take what the creatives were bringing out and put it on people's faces.
Right.
And make money from it. So when I saw that, I was like, I think I like this side of the coin, because, we making money over here.
Making money over here.
So I kind of leaned over to that side. So to cut the long story short, that was how I started. I ended up becoming the manager of the studio. So I managed it for a year or two. Then after that, I started another one. A friend of mine called me, get into the same thing. I did the same thing, helped him set up, hired people and they came. I did it the third time. Then after that, I started mine. It was very easy for me. So I think creatives have a problem of migrating.
Right.
Being able to transition from this, I'm a passionate photographer, I love photography, and, bring it to the point where they're making money from it. And if you will allow me, I'd just like to say one thing. It's a very simple thing. It's like football. Or just probably how to plait hair. I have a friend, she could plait hair. She traveled to USA. She was asking everybody for money, dollars. Help me. Until the point they started talking to her in a very, not so good manner. And one day, someone wanted to make her hair. And she was like, oh, I can make your hair. And she just made the hair. And everybody was like, "You mean you can make hair and
Are
you're
you
broke?" So that's how most photographers are. They know how to snap the pictures. They love it, but it's not enough. Photography should pay your bills.
Yes.
Photography should send your kids
Your
to school.
passion should
Yeah,
pay
your
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 bills.
passion should pay your bills.
Yeah.
It should sponsor your dreams. It should sponsor, the things that you do. That's what I think. Yeah.
So I remember having a conversation with you
Yeah.
some time ago. We're talking about how, creatives just sort of jump into this bandwagon thing. Like, this person is doing it, me too, I'm going to do it. That person has done it, and I also have to do
Yeah.
that. And, we're talking about your experience getting a studio,
Ah!
asking yourself, should I really be doing this? Are you trying to scale just because you want to have a bigger place? Or are you trying to scale because you have a strategy in place to ensure that you've got not just the resources, you've got the capacity
Yeah.
to scale and sustain that level of business and progress to the next level as well?
True.
So I think it's an important conversation to have for creatives to understand the importance of knowing where they are and where they want to go to, and how to move from point A to point B
True.
without necessarily doing what everybody
Everybody
else
else
is
is
doing.
Yeah.
And how do you speak to that?
Okay, for me, I would say one thing I would just say is be very comfortable in your own skin. Understand where you are. Understand yourself. Understand what is working for you. Okay, some of the times you could fall into the problem of competing with people. Okay, because there you are doing this and every other person is doing this. Okay, but the truth is, every other person that is doing that, you don't know their story.
Yes.
You don't know how they got there. You don't know how they moved from point A to point B. Okay, but you know your own story. So for me, I would say, first of all, when you want to migrate or transition to, something else, okay, in the space, first of all, talk to people who are doing it. Find out how they did whatever that they did, okay? It will probably help you to take an informed decision.
Yeah.
That's one, because you're seeing what they did to get there. So you know if you can do it, okay? Then two, what I would also say is this. You must not do what everybody's doing. Honestly speaking, it almost put me in trouble. Yeah. 'Cause-
Don't worry, I won't air your dirty linen in
Okay,
public.
yeah.
I won't do that.
Okay, so it almost put me in trouble because I'm someone, I love weddings. I love wedding photography. So I just love everything wedding. I just love the whole process, everything. And that's me, okay? And I have a successful wedding photography business. And all my friends had studios, okay? So I'm always like, oh, yeah, what's up? I'm in my studio. Oh, yeah, dude, what's up? I'm in my studio. Oh, what's up? I'm in my studio.
You're now starting to feel like,
So,
am I working?
I'm like, what's this thing about? I'm in my studio. Okay, so I said, I think I need to get a studio, Yeah, I need to do what every other person is doing. And guess what? It took me money. It cost money. Yeah. I'm thinking about the money now. It's painful. So, but I put the money in there. I got a place, bought up stuff, and I started. And
Yeah, I remember you saying that you can literally count you can count your income, how much income you've made
Yes.
from the studio.
yeah,
Which is very small in comparison to what
To
you've
what
made
I'm-
outside of the
Yes,
studio. And you're
exactly.
asking yourself, why do I have all these overheads if I'm not even making
if I'm not
money
making any
from
money.
this
And
place?
some of the times, as a wedding photographer, sometimes you can have an office, some of the times you don't have a professional office. But so at the time I was like, I don't even leave my house and I make a whole lot of money. So I think what I needed was an office, not a studio.
Not a studio.
You get it? So, but when I checked myself and, checked the books, I wasn't really making so much money from the studio. And not that if someone comes and tells me, oh, I want you to do this some more, do this and do that. Listen, I'm not really into the studio thing. It's not I don't have a passion for it. Okay, but I just felt everybody has to do it, or every photographer has to do it because every other person is doing it. But it's really not my thing. But I'm a portrait photographer too. I take pictures, and guess what? I could use any of my friends' studios and get it done.
What would you say is the cost of running a photography business in Nigeria?
The cost of running a photography business in Nigeria, just like you rightly pointed out, it's not just money. Okay? everything follow. Everything follow. Your time, okay? Your time is there. Your money is there. I would just put it everything, because when you say what's the cost, it's like an open-ended stuff.
Yeah.
I can't really just say this is what it's going to take, but I can just say that everything is there. Your time is there, has to enter there. Your money has to go in. Your what would I say? Your skill, your energy, everything, everything. Really, that's what I think. But if it's in terms of the money, it costs a lot of money. To
Gears.
actually, yes.
Let's
to
talk
buy
about
the gears.
gears.
Yes, let's talk about
Let's
the gears.
talk about gears.
Let's talk about the gears, honestly.
I'm not saying we should talk about how much gear is, so I'm
Yes,
just saying
so,
let's
but
talk about the gears. Because you're on your Find Your Alpha podcast, and we gotta talk about alpha gears, we gotta talk about what you're using,
Yeah.
what you're hoping to use. You see, look, my job
Okay.
is to make everyone convert, is to put a Sony camera in every creative's hand, regardless of what kind of creative you are, regardless of what kind of photographer you are, whether you're a content creator, vlogger, YouTuber, videographer, filmmaker, whatever it is, everyone needs to have a Sony camera in hand because it is emotion in every frame.
Yeah.
No. I think it's so powerful. I'm just okay.
No,
on a serious note, on a serious note.
the thing is this. I just have to be
What
very
do you
honest with
aspire? Because I know you're not a Sony user.
No, I'm not a
I know
Sony.
that you would love to be a Sony user.
Sure.
I know you want to come to the Sony side of life. I know. So tell me, what
All
are
right.
your aspirations? Where are
Okay.
you headed?
For me, I just have to be honest, okay? And not just because, I'm doing this, okay? I love Sony. Sony is, I think the color science of Sony is just amazing, all right? Because I've used a lot of cameras. I started shooting with Canon, then I migrated to Nikon, but I love Sony because 95% of my friends use Sony camera. So I'm like the odd guy.
What are you doing? Why are you still waiting?
Now let me tell you.
But I know.
Let's talking about the gears right now. Sony is expensive.
No. That I will not accept. I won't accept that because, look, I understand.
No, every gear is expensive.
Every gear is
yeah.
expensive.
Just because of the inflation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think for me, what I believe about Sony gear is that it is an investment.
Yes, it is.
It is a long-term investment. I mean,
Yes.
of course, you can sell it and upgrade to
Yeah,
get a
true.
newer model, a different model, in the next couple of years or whatever. But your 6400 will serve you for 10 years.
True.
I know people who've been using the 6400 for a long time, shooting movies with the 6400, which is a crop sensor camera. So I know that it is an investment. I have a Sony FS100, which my dad bought over 10 years ago,
Wow.
that is still functional. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it was not cheap when he bought it. It was not cheap. It wasn't cheap. I remember he was saving up like a couple of years after that. It was like, FS3 is going to come out. After that, FS5 will come out. After that, FS7 will come out. And we're like, Daddy,
Yeah.
finish using the FS1 first. Use the money of the FS1.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's an investment.
Yeah, true. I
so
believe
in
that.
as much as we want to say that, gear is expensive, the truth is every investment is going to be expensive relative to how you see it,
That's
relative
true.
to how you see it pertaining to your growth,
Yeah.
right? And your progress in your career.
Yeah, true. That's very true. That's very true. Okay, let's not say it's not expensive, okay? But just like you said,
Yeah.
we can all get it.
We
okay?
can all
we can
get
all
it.
get it and we can all migrate, okay? But the thing is this, because of the whole inflation thing that we're having in the country, I should have had a Sony camera now, all right? But one or two things, okay? I was actually planning it.
You procrastinated.
Oh, yes, I did. And I regret it so much. Because I think it was like last year, everybody was like, yo, Ma, get a Sony. Yo, Ma, get a Sony. And, last 2 years, everybody was just migrating. And me, I'm the kind of person that I'm not always fascinated by what every other person is doing. Do you understand? So I was like, okay, yeah, I still have my Canon. I still have my Nikon. Y'all should chill. So, but when I saw their pictures, I saw their output, I saw a lot of things. I was like, whoa, I think I should get over here. Then, yeah.
we'll make a plan. We'll make a plan.
Oh yes, I think we should.
We'll make
I
a
think
plan.
we
Even if
should.
it's a payment plan, but we'll make a plan.
I can't even make a payment plan.
We'll make a payment plan. Anyway, so just as a final thought, what would you say to the emerging guy or the next generation guy who is thinking, this is what I want to do, and this is why why you should be doing it? What do you have to say?
Okay, for me, I would just say, first of all, I would say anybody that is thinking about coming into the photography space, first of all, understand yourself. Understand what works for you. Because I think this is all about you understanding yourself. It's not about just taking pictures. I know for me, even though I started from the business side, okay, but now I'm a photography freak, okay? So it's about knowing what works for you, what you love. Like I said, for me, I love wedding photography. You might be out there for you just love the studio thing, you just love working with models, taking pictures. Funny enough, in the studio, when the ladies just come in and some guys just come in, I just look and I'm like, yo, David, take the pictures, man. It's not my thing.
Right.
I'm attracted to elderly people. The moment I see beards, white beards, I'm like, I need to snap that guy. That's just me. That's the kind of portrait I like to take.
You're just trying to say that you're an oldie at heart.
Maybe, yeah. So but the bottom line is this, yeah. I just flow with, I understand myself. I know what I like. So if you're out there and you want to get into the photography space, so understand yourself, know what you want to do, okay? Work with, the passion that you feel. All right, that one that is strong. Like for me, like I said, it's wedding for me, not the whole studio thing, which is also very beautiful. I do a lot of studio pictures, okay? But understand that thing, first of all. Then two, I would tell you to invest in learning the art of photography, okay? Whatever it would take for you to learn and understand photography, the person should do that, really, because you have a lot of people who are just carrying cameras and they really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they studied under somebody for maybe like 1 month, 2 months, 3
and they
months,
just take
then
off.
They managed to save enough money to get a camera,
Exactly.
and now they are the next big thing.
And they're out there, so they don't
bread.
understand anything about it.
Yeah.
So you need to understand it. You have to pay money. You have to take master classes. You have to be on the net, YouTube. You just have to be out there, get all the information that you can, and make sure that you're skilled at what you do, okay? Then the next thing I'm going to tell you is get ready for the business. Don't just stop there. Get ready to make money from that stuff that you have learned, okay? It's very, very important because, the country that we live in, doesn't matter how passionate you are about something, if you ain't making money,
food on the table.
it's going to frustrate
Well,
you.
passion can put on the table
Yeah.
if you know how to use your passion.
Exactly.
That's true.
That's what we're
true.
talking about here. How to use the passion, merge it with the business, and you make money for yourself. You have to think about it. So we're talking about, you have to learn how to manage your business, okay? That part, branding, all that now comes in. You must understand all those things, how to relate with clients, lockdown deals, how to negotiate with people, a lot of things, pricing. You must know them. Don't just assume you know them, okay? You must go out to learn them, take classes on them so that you are sure of what you're doing. You're not guessing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to add quickly, look, if you're a newbie, if you're an emerging photographer, if you're starting out in the business, in the industry, if you're trying to learn, we have a really great platform for you to do that, and that's called the Alpha Universe. You need to go to alphauniverse-mea.com. This is where you get content and resource material that teaches you about different aspects of photography, different genres, different aspects of videography. You also connect with people of your peers. You connect with photographers from different countries as well. It's a really, really great, it's a really great platform for learning, for experiencing. You learn about new gears that's coming out. You learn about how to combine, this camera and that lens and what works best for for specific genres of photography. If you're into sports photography, for instance, there are specific gears or landscape, So it's just a really great tool for you to learn. And I really would recommend going there. Besides which, anyway, this podcast is going to be on Alpha Universe. So you better go click it, watch it, learn. And thank you so much, Mark, for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. Thank
It's
you
always a
so
pleasure
much.
speaking with you.
Same here.
Thank you,
Thank
Mark.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. All right,
you,
guys.
Biggie.
See you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Okay.